So these are the first impressions of the Diehl Transmatic S, which was the top of the line printing calculator, the last one. Developed by Diehl, and yeah, it's in quite good shape. It's even a rest of the original paper. Unfortunately, these 100mm paper rolls are not available anymore, so I have to make an adapter for the 75mm, and but that's not a problem because the whole printing area will fit on the 75mm roll, so the borders are fairly small, right and left, but it should do the job. Okay. I rebuilt this machine, and this is one of the TPU 3D printed belt that I created for this machine, because the original belt was completely deteriorated. And yeah, so yeah, a few buttons, most self-explanatory: addition, subtraction. This is printing only without calculating. Multiplication, division, and this is the result button for multiplication and division. This is the S button, which is linked together with the result button, and if you press it, the result of the multiplication and division or division will be stored in the accumulator. Otherwise it's only printed, so you can add together products or division results. Okay, then these two buttons are the selectors for two accumulators, which are separate, so you can add some digits to the first accumulator, which is indicated by this one, and you can do some others when you switch to the second. Something. So now it's the second one. I can give the total, and you can see that's indicated that this is the second one. If I switch back to the first one and give a total, you can see the paper is not fitted in. And this is the sum of the first register. And even if it stores the last printed one. Okay, so you can take the plus key, and if I switch to the second, I can recall also the second one. Okay, then we have here the fixed decimal point selector. This is selection decimal point selector. This is no. This is 1 decimal point 2, 3, 4, and this blue area means that you will get no decimal point, but the full digits when you make a division. completely automatically without adding a lot of zeros in the first place. So the second lever here, you can round and digits. So this means that one digit is cut off and rounded up, and when you have three digits behind the decimal point, only one can be wiped off, and if you have four, you can select one or two wiped off. So this is a very interesting feature of this machine, and interesting mechanic how that is realized. So then let's do a division. So okay, let's do the division with the full digits and without the decimal points. So we take the blue position, and then we take 355 divided by 113. So you have the complete numbers. Here you can see. The remainder is printed in red. If that's correct, that is also shown a negative sign. I'm not sure, but I do not have a manual where it's shown what the machine is supposed to do. So I don't know if it's worth to search a fault which is known. I don't know. We will see. Okay, then let's do a multiplication. So if you select no decimal point, and you get the 0 here, and let's do the 9999 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And you get the palindroma. Seems to be correct. Fine. So if you'll take two decimal points, and the roundup function only works with multiplication. So if you multiply 25.26, it's shown like this, times 36.98, and then you see that the result is in the correct position concerning the decimal point, and the last digits. So it had cut the last two decimals. Obviously, if you multiply two numbers with two decimals after the decimal point, then you get a result with 4 digits after the decimal point, and here you can see that it automatically cuts off the 2. And if I will repeat that without decimal points, we get the full result, and then we can 25 to 6 3698. So you can see this is the complete result, and this is a 4, so it is not rounded up, because what this machine does, it adds to the last digit, which is not printed, adds 5. And if this number is below 5, there is no 1 taken over to the next position. But if this would be a 5 or a 6, then there would be a tens carry to the next position, and here the number would be 12, and here you would have a 12, so it had been rounded up correctly. So this is how this works, and if you have, you can even select 4 digits, and then you can select if there is cut of 1 or 2. So we have now 4 digits and cut off the last 2. And do it again, 25, 26, and then you have to put 2 zeros, that you have the complete 4 digits, times 36.98 and 2 zeros. And now you can see that it has okay, here I made a mistake. I pointed in 26, not 25, so the number is not identical, of course, but here you can see that it's again the correct decimal point position, but the last 2 digits are cut off, and the number is rounded up if necessary. So if this non-shown digit would be 5 or higher, it would have been rounded up, and if it's 4, it remains as it is. And this is a very special function of this machine. This is quite a good engineered thing. There is a patent which you can download, where the whole functionality is described in detail, as well as an American patent, as well as in German. So that's cool. Okay, I think this probably might be the first impressions of this machine. I forgot. This is the constant factor storing. So if you take a number and add this, and you dial in a number and press the button, and then you add it. Then you have the number added to the accumulator 2, and you can I'll take it back to the 0 position. So you can wipe out the second register, and if I put the recall, if I select the recall and do an add or a multiplication or a subtraction, then it will recall the number from this constant storage. Yeah, this is the clearing lever, and that's more or less the first description of the functionality of the machine. Of course, here's a subtotal button and then printing only, so this will show like this. Yeah. So in addition, I will show you some footage of running the machine in first division and then multiplication from all 4 sides without the shell. And at this point I did not reinstall the printing mechanism yet, so you can see the mechanism moving And I think that is quite interesting how the mechanics works. So thank you for watching, and probably we will get later in a bit more detail at a later point. Thank you. Oh, there's one interesting thing I forgot. So this machine has an overflow warning. So if you can put only 8 digits in the mechanism for multiplication. So 2 times 8 digits means 16 digits, which is the full capacity of the printing works. So if you put in more, then you will get an invalid result. So if I take, let's say 55555, and you see I take one more, this is 9, and I multiply that by 8888, again overflow, and then I take the result. You will hear a bell ring as a warning, and you see here nothing will be printed out, and here is an F for Fehler, or in English machines you can put in an E for error. And this is a fixed additional dial which comes only into action when you have this error situation, and the printer is prevented from printing, and only this last fixed printing hammer is activated. So that's also quite interesting thing of this machine.